Hi, I'm Michael Cole, and this is my first video blog. I want to talk to you today about contradictions. Personally, my life seems to be filled with them. I think most of our lives are. So I want to talk to you about a couple of the contradictions that affect me. And the first contradiction that I could think of was gender dynamics. Well, gender roles. I think that this idea of pink and blue as representing male and female, or female and male. I'm not sure why colors have ever been associated with gender, and so it seems like a very big contradiction to me. The reason I bring it up is that I'm at that age where most of my or a lot of my friends are having children, and this constant debate about how to decorate nurseries and how to do all these things that are going to define your children are coming up, and one of them is the idea of you have to know the gender of the baby before it's born so that you can pick the right colors for the room, for the nursery. And that seems absolutely insane to me, that you find out before this person's born that it's going to be a girl, so it has to have a pink room, and it has to have Barbies and whatever, and a blue room has to, if it's a boy, it has to have a blue room with trains and G.I. Joes and whatever, and it's not something that I particularly want in my children. When I have children, I don't want them to be defined by these things. I don't see myself as being defined by it. If I want to wear a pink shirt, I would wear a pink shirt. If I want to play with Barbie dolls, I would play with Barbie dolls. And the same thing with my children. If they're gonna, they can do whatever they want to do. When I talk about having children, one of my biggest fears is that I'll have sons that let's say, for example, my sons do happen to be very, stereotypically masculine boys, and they want to play sports and do all the things that boys do, or used to do, or are supposed to do, or whatever. I haven't been that person, and so how am I going to be that father? And that's like a weird thing. It's like I am not good at sports. I'm not good at. I don't like watching movies where they figure, oh, it's going to be really cool to have this big explosion and have a tank drop from a helicopter onto a road, and so let's write a movie around a tank dropping from a helicopter on a road. Another contradiction that I find in my life that I'm worried about, I shouldn't say I'm worried about it, but I listened to George Carlin and watched George Carlin a lot as a kid, and he shaped the way I view swear words. I don't see the issue with them. Obviously, I consider slurs to be a completely different category. I don't think that slurs are acceptable, but swear words, depending on context, I don't see the problem. I do see that at some point when I have children, I'm going to be having the fight with the teachers about it. I'm going to be talking to a teacher, and they're going to say that your son or your daughter said fuck. And I'm going to be like, well, did they say fuck you, or did they say this pizza's fucking awesome? Because there's a really big difference in that. I don't want them being disrespectful to the teachers, but at the same time, was the pizza fucking awesome? Because that is important to me. But as much as I intellectually realize there is literally nothing wrong with these words, there is the emotional factor, and that's why they've been considered bad for so long, is because we're emotionally connected to them. And yeah, it's brainwashing. We've been told that fuck is a bad word by people who were told that fuck is a bad word by people who were told that fuck is a bad word, and so we tend to believe it. I used to work at a cell phone store, and while I was working there, this old man came in, old couple. The man had a walker, so I'm guessing he's probably in his 80s. And I said, sir, how can I help you? And he said, can you show me how to use this fucking thing, about his cell phone? And I was grinning ear to ear, and his wife was going, the boy probably hasn't heard that before. And it was absolutely the highlight of my day. To hear this old man swearing was incredible to me. So the fact that it gets the shock value out of me, there's got to be something to it. But I think that it's more just based on this ingrained thing in us. It's not. I still believe there is nothing wrong with that. I'm told constantly by parents, not by my parents, but by actually, I don't think I've ever heard it from my parents. By a lot of other people's parents, that when you become a parent, you'll understand, and your views will change. And it's like, I don't understand that concept of my morals are going to change. The things that I know to be right and wrong are going to change because I have kids. And that actually angers me. It doesn't just like bug me. It actually angers me because it's so condescending. And for there's a little while in your life when you think, oh, well, my parents are condescending. But eventually you realize that all parents are condescending. Or at least most parents are condescending. And so the idea of my morals are going to change when I have kids implies something to me, and that is that the thing that they disagree with me on, they believe not only that they're right, but that I know that they're right, and that I'm just either too selfish or too stubborn to admit it, and that once I have kids, that selfishness and that stubbornness are going to wash away. Please feel free to comment below and also subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be putting out videos weekly. I'll see you next week.